Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to upholster this sectional. So once I lay down the fabric on the deck, I'll be sewing it with a 1 pound nylon string. When I'm sewing it to the sofa, I am catching the spring from underneath. I am doing this from one end to the next end. As I go, I am feeling where the spring is with my finger and I'm poking it right through from underneath to the top. This part here that I'm stapling down is pretty much the deck. I'm stapling it from the front first and then I'm going to go from behind and staple it. I always start from the front first because I want to make sure it's nice and clean with a straight line. Starting from the inner side first and pulling all the way out is the best way because then you can hide all the fabric that's wrinkled up. I'm going to continue doing this all the way to the corner and then I'm going to staple the arm side. So this side here is going to be attached with the other frame. I'm just going to put a little foam padding here. You don't want to put the padding too thick because then you cannot connect it together. So on the foam on top, I like to use something a little firmer so it doesn't compress in too much. Once I'm gluing it down, I want to make sure it's even with the foam I just glued in earlier. I'm going to be doing this all the way from one end to the next end. Now I'm using a thin layer of fiber. This one, it will give it a nice soft feel to it, and also it gives it a nice fluff to it. It doesn't really make it look so flat. So I like to staple this part here first. I want to make sure it's lined up on the corner. After that, I'm going to be pulling down by locking a few staples every few inches. The back part here, I'm going to be using a thin layer of fiber as well. I like to start from the top first, making sure I have enough to staple it on the frame. After that, I'm going to be going from the bottom and tucking it in. Makes it a lot easier. So when I'm cutting the fiber here, I want to make sure it's still long enough so I can push it all the way through. Because if you cut it short, you might feel it. So the extra fiber here, I'm making sure I'm cutting where the wood is and then I'm going to push it through. Gluing the fiber on the side here will just help it just from shifting around. You can also just staple it. So the most important part I like to start is the corner here first. After that setup is nice, I'm going to pull it to the other side. You want to fix it as much as possible first, and then after that just put a few staples if you need to. Now that the corner is set up, I'm going to be putting a few staples just to lock it. I am locking the staple on an angle so it makes it a lot easier to take off. Now that the top part is set up nicely, I'm going to be working from the bottom all the way to the corner. After everything's set up nicely done, I'm going to be going back from the top part, removing all the staples that I locked earlier, and I'm going to staple it down. I'm just going to keep doing this all the way to the other side. This part here, I'm going to be using tacking strip so you don't see the staple marks. I'm putting with the fiber so it still gives it a nice soft feel to it. Any extra fabric, you want to cut it off so it makes it a lot easier. Once I'm rolling the fabric, I want to make sure the fabric is pushed all the way deep and nothing's sticking out. You want to make sure you hold the first part in without shifting, or else everything's going to shift downwards or upwards. After hammering it in, you could staple the bottom part. It makes it a lot easier. After stapling it all down, I'm going to staple the inside back. I like to start from the outer part first and then go to the inner corner side. This way you could take out the extra fabric. I am making sure I'm pulling consistently all the way across. So when you look in the front, you'll see the grain consistently going across. This part here, it's the outer side for the back. I'm going to staple it down first so the fabric doesn't run. And after that, I'm going to be using cardboard strip. The point of the cardboard is to give it a nice straight line to it when you pull the fabric down. After the cardboard is done, I'm going to be using a thin layer of fiber. This way it gives it a nice soft feel to it. So once I'm done the fiber, I'm going to put the fabric down and use a tacking strip. I'm cutting all the leftover fabric out so it's easy to fold. Now I'm just going to make sure I'm pushing it all the way in the leftover fabric. Once I'm hammering it down, I'm making sure the edge of the frame is the same as the metal. This part here is a little tricky, so you want to make sure you take your time to finish it right. Once everything looks nice to me, I'm going to staple the bottom part and finish it off. You want to make sure you're pulling it consistently still, or else you're going to see staple marks. After everything's done, I'm putting the dust cover on. And finally, I'm just putting the 1-inch legs. And here's how the finished piece looks like. So thank you for watching, and I hope this video was helpful.